All right. That is my mistake. Sorry, everybody. The mics were muted. You missed our whole intro, but that's okay. My fault. We are going in round 4. This is the last round of Swift. These are your number 1 and number 2 ranked players, both of them at 3-0. YurickYu on the Warp deck, Praxis Warp, and Brody on the Shift deck. What do you think about this one, Sonny?
And so both players have a bit of a slower strategy and don't have a ton going on early. So that means that both players are probably going to be able to enact their game plan, which should be a lot of fun to watch. The other side of that is it's possible that Brody just shifts in a bunch of cards and then is able to attack with unblockable units, and there's not much Yurick can do about it. So that's also a possibility, but hopefully we're going to see a good game here.
Absolutely. Now, you said something about a certain 8-drop that was in YurickYu's deck.
Yeah, 2 of them actually. We've got the Magmatic Sentinel here. 8-drop, 7/5, summon, deal 5 to an enemy unit. I can certainly appreciate that this is about as big as you can get, but I'm not quite sure it's going to be great here, especially not in multiple copies.
All right, looks like my screen is frozen, so bear with me with 1 second. I'm going to reset my screen here because I think I'm frozen.
I'll do the play-by-play. Brody's got shifted a Crooked Alley Guide and a Mining Team. YurickYu plays their 3rd power. Going to just drop a Journeyman Armorer. No unit to put the +1/+1 weapon on. Going back to Brody draws. The Crooked Alley Guy goes down to 1 tick on shift. Mining Team has 2 ticks on it before it comes. Brody thinking here. Mining Team shifted. Gonna go ahead and take a look at the top card. Top card goes to the bottom. Amethyst Waystone, 2 power up. What's Brody going to do with it? I have to imagine that if they're shifting the Mining Team, they're planning on doing something with the rest of this power. Yep, here we go. Shifted Nimble Conscript. Brody shifting all the units that they're playing. YurickYu warps in a Journeyman Armorer. Gets a 3/3 on the Journeyman Armor, and YurickYu's going to draw first blood, attacking for 3 with that Journeyman Armor. Followed up probably with a Granite Coin just to ping face. I don't see... Oh, no, just a Time Sigil. I guess trying to get up to that Amber Waystone.
All right, and we are back. Yep, we see the shift units across the top of the board there. Pretty aggressive shifting from Brody.
Yeah, I think this is the right strategy. Just shift everything and then attack with them once, and then gum up the board with everything else.
Yeah, YurickYu again having expensive cards in hand. Now in this game, it might be slow enough where he's able to play some of them, but a 6-drop, 2 8-drops, that's not the best hand against your aggro shift opponent.
No, it is not. 3/5 here is going to be a nice defense and being able to attack for 5. But I mean, we're still looking at least 6 unblockable damage here.
You know what? You know what defense requires, right? Being able to block. Mob Rule will take out that 3/5 anyway, so it allows Brody to attack through with the 4/3 as well. Yurick hits 6 power. We'll be able to play out that Cannon Bear. Also has the 7th power in hand, so we'll actually be able to drop one of these 8-drops if they draw 1 more power, which will take out one of the units. Nice 2-for-1 there.
There was a pause for Brody, and that means Torch or Mob Rule. And if it's Mob Rule, that's disastrous. Taking down the... No,
it's just a Torch. Luckily for Yurick, that's just a Torch. If that was a Mob Rule, take down the Cannon Bear, that would be pretty brutal, but... and there we go. There's the Mob Rule off the top. What a draw for Brody. That's gonna
imagine that's a winning play for Brody.
That's gonna have to put Yurick too far behind. You've got 2 unblockable damage coming in for sure. You can block one of these, but seven getting through. That's just not enough. So Brody's gonna take game 1. What do you think of that?
Well, that was quite a game. What can I say? Both players got to do what they signed.
So we've now seen Brody's take on the shift deck do pretty well. It's been pretty quick out of the gates. I think the time has made a big difference there. And honestly, Mob Rule has actually been a pretty effective card as well. Mob Rule, one of the probably better removal spells.
Yeah, it probably is, especially if people are playing cards like Corrupted Behemoth. No one's playing Corrupted Behemoth today, but cards like Archive Curator, Awaken Sentinel, a lot of these common time cards don't have a ton of attack, but have a lot of health, and Mob Rule takes care of them and does a good job of it.
It does, absolutely. And it punishes if you're playing Bear Arms, as we've seen.
All right, Yurik goes first again. Has a hand with a lot of 5-drops. I just don't feel like this is going to stop most shift hands.
Yeah. It seems like Yurick's deck has inevitability. If it's able to survive the early turns, get down, get to some of its 5-drops or 6-drops, then it can probably run away with the game from there. But the real question is, can you survive the early turns?
Yeah, I mean it's not even about necessarily just getting up to 5 or whatever for Yurik, as it might be against, say, a Rakano aggro deck. But I mean, Brody can probably just keep on shifting the cards and getting through unblockable damage, and that's going to be tough to deal with. Yurik with a free Blink Wolf, got to be happy about that one. Probably, I think you probably just chump block this 3/3. Well, yeah, I mean, on the next turn, you're going to have a 1/4 down, so you're going to be able to block it.
Gets that warp. What do you think? What do you think of Blink Wolf in this? Do you like the Blink Wolf in this deck? The 2/1 for 2 is not the most impactful unit in the world, but do you think it fits Yurick's deck? Fits that 2-drop slot?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that when you're playing a warp deck, you just want to have as many warp cards as you can. A lot of your cards are going to look really mediocre, like Blink Wolf, but when you're getting a Blink Wolf for 2 power and no cards in hand, it ends up being good enough.
Yeah. And just as you said it, Journeyman Armor right off the top. Actually, timing works pretty well there. Drop that 3-drop right off the top of your deck and turn the Blink Wolf into a 3/2. Stone Scar Outfitter here, though, for Brody.
We've seen that card be very good today.
It has been very good, especially with the shift, so you can't torch it. Just kind of a semi-permanent buff to your units. It's going to last a while until this comes unshifted. Yurik lining up an attack with the wolf. Go ahead and take Brody on 22. Follows up with a 3/5.
Yeah, so the 3/5 does a fine job blocking once the units have come into play, but we're looking at 4/3/2/2, so that's 11 unblockable damage for Brody. So Yurik's at a virtual 11 right now.
He is, with presumably more,
because the torch is going to probably kill the outfitter.
It's true. Presumably more shift to follow after that as well, like a Submerged Titan.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be tough, and of course the Cannon Bear cannot hit the Submerged Titan because it is shifted, so that will be out of range as well. I think that's actually been a key thing we've seen from Brody's deck in the matches has been the ability to dodge the torches, just dodging that removal.
Yeah, Brody is, however, taking a beating here, dropping down to 14. I suppose the idea
outfitter
behind Yurik's play is holding up 1 power in order to be able to torch. Probably one of these unblockable units, right?
I would assume, unless you're saving it next turn to hit the outfitter, but I don't think you can wait that long. Oh, takes out that. Okay. Does not take out the 3/3 Devotee with the power, but chump blocks the 5/4. Take very little damage here.
Gaining 2 life, that's pretty big.
Mm-hmm. Now the only creature that Brody has left at back is a 3/1, coming in for a lot of damage here.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, Brody really has to watch out for the life total.
Yeah, Brody had a good start with a lot of these shift units. The Stone Scar Outfitter is now off of shift, but falling behind a little bit. Attacking, of course, with the unblocked Outfitter, as well as the 5/4 Reckless that has to attack.
Well, it's really hard for Yurik to push through damage, so I think that most blockers that Brody plays, they're probably pretty confident that it's going to be safe. Like on this board, Yurick can only block for, or sorry, Yurick can only attack. Well, there's a conflagrate. I say that, and there's a conflagrate.
Yeah, that's going to be a good draw here. Good draw and conflagrate. Cannot amplify it yet, but still good to get rid of one blocker.
I think you have to take care of the Stone Scar Outfitter. It's just way too good on this board. I think like attacking with the 3/5 here and then using the conflagrate is pretty good. I know that it's really tempting to be able to amplify the conflagrate, but I mean,
ooh, not even attacking first. Do you double block if you're Brody on the 3/5?
Yeah, I probably do.
Does not go for that play. Hits Brody down to 7. Brody now has an unblockable Submerged Titan, which is right now 5 power. Could get higher if he plays more units. There's another Submerged Titan. Knocks it up to 6. Now that's 6 damage coming through. Going to put Yurick down to 8. Now Yurick has the conflagrate for the Stone Scar Outfitter next turn, so presumably not going to take any damage from that next turn.
Yeah, a conflagrate hitting both Stone Scar Outfitters on Brody's next turn, that could be pretty big. That's going to take up YurickYu's entire turn. And then facing down a 4/4 that can't really attack that well. Like the Submerged Titan won't be able to attack very well. And the Devotees will be significantly less scary once that happens. So I think that Yurick might be in an okay spot after all.
And he's got 3 power in the air, so at a 2-turn clock right now. So it's really surviving this turn and the following turn, which we know they can do with the conflagrate in hand this turn. So not in a bad spot right now. Just got to be able to hold on a little longer. Unit will allow them to scout and pump their Titans.
Yeah, that 7/5 Titan. Well, I guess it might not be. Well, when both outfitters are off the table, I think that it's just looking great for Yurick. Yeah, here we see an ace. So, like, without this conflagrate, this looks like a fantastic attack for Brody. But the conflagrate really throws it for
yeah, it's going to mess it up real bad. I'm going to take out both outfitters. That's essentially going to drop the power of every unit by 2 because of both of these outfitters.
There's a fast spell here.
He has mob rule, maybe? No, he would have cast. Well, probably would have cast in response.
Mob rule,
so
you have to play it there. Yeah. Well, I guess
not. It doesn't make a difference, but yeah, you would think so. So probably a torch. There's the torch. Get rid of the 2/2. It's going to put Yurick down to 7.
Yurick can play 2 units here, though. And that gives them enough blockers in order to be able to attack in the air with.
Sure
well,
does.
I guess only 2 attacks are necessary this turn, but definitely going to be able to assemble next lethal.
Attacking with lining up an attack with all 3 flyers, knocking Brody down to 2, no burn in hand. Yurick's at 7, so this is a tight race here.
I don't know what Brody can draw in order to win this.
Yeah, Brody's going to have to
remove both blocks.
That's not a good start. Gonna have to kill Yurick this turn or remove 2 flyers, which with 4 power is not going to be likely.
Or gain 2 life, which doesn't seem possible either.
True. Keeps whatever it is on top, pumps the Titans, shifts, warps another mining team, which again, you're searching for answers, but with 2 power, there's not going to be a way to get out of this. Doesn't look like for Brody. Actually, and chat's right, with Cannon Bear in hand, I actually had an additional 1 damage next turn. So really only needed
there's
1
no
unit
on
to
the
survive.
double fire.
Oh, that's true. Only has the 1 fire.
That would happen.
That's true. Now, yeah, that is a good point. Way to notice that he only had the single fire there, so could not have played the Cannon Bear as is. That's Sunny with the smart plays there.
All right, we're going to game 3.
Game 3. So this is your number 1 and number 2 ranked players right now, going into the final round. Winner of this, of course, is locked. Loser of this is very likely still in.
Yeah, and we saw in the standings, in the results of this round, Firebee took down the Magic Order, and Firebee got the pair down. So that means one fewer player with 9 points at the end of all this.
True.
It's gonna be tight. I don't know what's going to happen with the breakers, but we've got some results in. We have Captain Teambro and Vespa both with 9 points. There's also going to be the winner of never mind. Mediocre. I think Mediocre won the pair down against the Boxer. So Mediocre also at 9 points, but with the pair down, it's going to be tough as far as breakers go.
Yeah, that'll be tough for Maddie. Maddie probably has a good chance there, but those breakers are going to make it a little tough. All right, we're live here. So Yurik looks like he's got 4 power in hand. Got actually a cheaper hand this time. All 1, 2s, and 3s. So none of the big drops this time. And now has a Blink Wolf on top of the deck.
I like this hand though. I mean, you don't need to have your big stuff in hand for the warp deck. You just need to deploy your hand as fast as possible, and then the big stuff will come via warp later.
Absolutely. 2 Submerged Titans for Brody, which play pretty well together, pumping each other up, both shifted. Followed up by a Devotee of the Sands, which will also pump up the 2 Titans. Any chance that they just run away with Titans this game?
That's certainly a possibility. I mean, Brody only has 2 more cards in hand, so they have to be good ones. But that's definitely a way for Brody to run away.
Mm-hmm. Does have a Cloak of Moments in hand as well, so we'll pump those up when they emerge. And the 3rd Submerged Titan, I think Brody's got a plan here. Whether it works or not is yet to be seen, but it's got a plan.
Yeah, you also have to keep in mind that Brody's not going to have many blockers, or is not going to be able to block. It's not like Yurick's attacking for a ton, but every attack is getting through for the time.
It is. That is the one disadvantage of shifting all your units. There's no blockers on the backswing. Oh, there's a nice mob rule to take down the 3/5. Not that 3/5 was doing much on defense against the unblockables, but it's going to save you some damage there. Again, with this Cloak of Moments, the torches are going to be pretty much dead against these units. Not going to be able to hit any of these units when they emerge.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the themes we've been seeing today is Cloak of Moments taking a shift unit and bringing it out of torch.
Aractodon playing and is going to pump up all the Submerged Titans again. So YurickYu's still at 20, but you've got a lot of unblockable damage coming through here. So it might end up being a race. YurickYu's going to have to try to get more damage in than they're taking unblockable.
Yeah, I mean, even if like Brody can't finish YurickYu, like if we get into a stalemate, basically, I mean, Yurick's got lots of cards coming from the top of their deck, but Brody also just has huge stuff. Mm-hmm. And all Brody has to do is stall out the game in order to get shifted attacks through.
And you can never forget about the late shift units, that if there is a board stall, what gets through board stalls? Unblockable units.
Exactly. YurickYu holding back here.
Brody shifting a mining team. Pumps up those Titans again.
Yeah, do you attack with the 7/7 Titan here?
Yeah, I think so. Probably just gets a jump block, but still get another unit out of there. Or going for the full block. All right.
I like this team block from YurickYu. You have to get that off the table. If you're playing the warp deck, your resources are roughly infinite. You have to trade whenever possible.
Oh, brutal Dark Return. YurickYu did not want to see that.
Is it going to be played or shifted?
He just played normally, but that's what, 5 damage from the Titan, 3 from the Rakton. That's 8. That's 3. That's 11 unblockable damage as is on board.
Yeah, I don't think that Yurick has enough blockers. Like, Yurick can do a great job of just throwing out Grenadins and chump blocking, but with 2 huge units coming from Brody, I don't think that that's a viable plan here. I think we're just going to see Brody take this.
And there's a Tremor Shocker, and that's got to be it. I can't see Yurick's any way out of this.
Wow, what a game from the from the shift deck.
And that'll put Brody's 3-color shift deck undefeated through the Swiss, going 4-0. Gotta be the number 1 seed going into the top 4